on the witness stand?
I think so. Mr. Folsom, feel free to just have a seat for a moment while the jury comes in.
All rise for the jury. All jury present and counted.
Thank you, sir. All right, statement calls next witness.
You stand. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that testimony you're going to give to the court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
State your first and last name and spell it into the microphone.
Brian Folsom, Brian Folsom.
Good afternoon, Mr. Folsom.
Good afternoon.
Where do you reside?
Canton, Georgia.
How long have you been there?
About 4 months.
4 months? Prior to that, where did you live?
Dallas, Kennesaw, and then was raised in Cherokee County, Woodstock.
So that's Kennesaw, Cherokee County, and
Dallas, Paulding County.
How would you describe these different areas that you lived in? Are they metropolitan areas, rural areas?
North Georgia. Small town when I was growing up. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a transit system, public transportation?
No.
What do you do for work?
I'm a teacher.
And how long have you been a teacher?
26 years.
Okay. And what do you teach?
Health and physical education.
What age group?
Middle school.
And you know Jamie Folsom in this case?
Yes.
How do you know her?
She's my wife.
How did you guys meet?
We met through a dating app.
And do you remember the year you met her?
2015.
Okay. Do you recall around about the month? Was it summer, spring?
It was spring.
Okay. And when did you two start to develop a relationship?
After a couple months of dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you two still together in the summer of 2015?
Yes.
What about the month of July?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, describe to the jury a little bit about y'all's relationship when you first started dating.
Just casual dating, going on hiking, things like that. Just nothing fancy, out to eat, hikes, camping, stuff like that.
And what was the status of her, what was her relationship status at that time?
She was going through a divorce, and in July, it was finalized.
And did she have any children?
Yes, 2 children.
Did you guys ever travel together outside of the Canton, Dallas area?
A couple times we went to Midtown area.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall the first time you went to the Atlanta area?
Vaguely, I don't remember the details, just that we were down there.
Okay. Do you recall the time you went to Atlanta in July 2015?
Yes.
What was your understanding of the trip? What was the trip details?
We were just going to go out and celebrate before school started and kind of a start of a new life for her. We're just going to go out to eat, go to a few places and have a couple drinks.
Okay. So was it a group trip, a couples trip, a solo trip?
A couple, just us two.
Okay. And whose idea was it to go to Atlanta?
Jamie's.
Did she plan the trip?
Yes.
And so do you know what the plans were that night?
No, I don't know the exact places that we were going, just that we were going out to eat, hit a few places. She had some Groupons for some certain places to go. But it was kind of like, we'll just try this place and try that place. But there are a few things she wanted to do beforehand.
So she planned the trip and you were kind of there for the,
Yeah, she
Okay.
did the planning.
were you familiar with any of these places you guys were going?
No, I wasn't familiar at all. It's not someplace that I go to.
Do you recall where you stayed that night? What hotel?
I think it was the Renaissance.
Do you recall what area or what side of town that was?
I just know it was Midtown. That's it.
Do you recall what street it was off of?
No.
And so do you, what time did you guys leave the Canton area that day?
Don't recall.
Was it after lunch?
It was after lunch, just between lunch and dinner.
Okay. Do you remember what time you, around about the time you arrived in Atlanta, before dinner?
It was before dinner because that's one of the things we were going to do is go out for dinner.
Okay. And what did you do when you got to Atlanta?
We went to the hotel, dropped our stuff off, unpacked, and then we went and got something, I think, at the Vortex.
Okay. And what did you do after that?
We went, I'm not sure if we went back to the hotel first or if we went to a bar next, but we went on to another spot to have a drink. At some point, we went back to the hotel before we went back out.
Do you recall what you were wearing that night?
No,
Okay. Do you recall what Jamie?
not really.
Okay. And while you were out, what were you doing besides having dinner? What did you do while y'all were out? You went back to the hotel and went back out, you said?
Yeah, we went out and had a drink or two, depending on where we were at. We didn't stay like too long at each place. Just kind of walking around, stopping here, stopping there, just checking places out.
And at this time, was it daylight, nighttime?
Started out as daylight, being summer, it's daylight for a while. So it was daylight for a while before, it got dark. So
Do you recall going to the Opera nightclub that night?
yes,
Why did you go there?
she had a Groupon that had some drink specials.
And when you arrived, what were you two doing at the Opera nightclub?
There was dancing going on and drinking. That's basically it.
And what do you remember? Do you remember how long y'all were there?
No,
Over an hour? Less than an hour?
I mean, I could guess no more than an hour. I mean, I don't know the exact time.
Yes.
I wasn't keeping track of how long we were at each place.
For, would you say you were enjoying your night?
Yes.
Okay. And tell the jury a little bit about what happened next while you were at the Opera nightclub.
Okay, well, we were on the dance floor and I went to go get some drinks and she was there and I came back and approached her because she was kind of close to another lady. So I just got up there and started talking to her, and we got in an argument. And from there, she left the opera and started running down the sidewalk.
When you say running down the sidewalk, she just bolted out of the opera and hightailed it down the sidewalk? Describe
sprinting.
that for- Sprinting?
Yeah,
Okay. What did you do?
I chased after her, not too close, but at a distance to make sure I kept an eye on her.
Was that behavior or was that something you have observed before?
Yes, once before, she ran away, but didn't go far, and then eventually came back.
Okay. And what is your understanding that she walked away for? What was your understanding that she walked? Why did she walk away?
Because she didn't want anyone telling her what to do, and she felt like I was telling her what to do because of past relationships, whatnot.
And when she walks away, you said she's walked away previously, she returned?
Yeah.
So we are at the point where she is running out of the nightclub. You run behind her. What happens next?
She ends up finding the car and wants to get a ride with the people that are in the car. And I talk her from taking the ride with them and getting into the Uber that I had called.
Okay.
And so she did. She came with me and got in the Uber.
What possessions did you have on you that night?
I had her phone and wallet, as well as my phone and wallet and the keys.
Okay. How many times have you used Uber prior to that?
First time.
Okay. At the time, what was your understanding of how Uber works?
I wasn't really sure. I knew they used the phone to get an Uber, but I assumed I'd paid after the fact, the trip. So I wasn't really for sure how it worked out. Was it my phone that I used to do the Uber?
What
So
phone did you use?
use Jamie's phone.
Okay.
Because she had the app. I didn't have it. I didn't know exactly. I just know she'd used it in the past.
And did you leave your phone at the hotel or you had your phone on you?
I'm pretty sure I had my phone as well.
Okay. So what happens when the Uber approaches?
We get in the car and he's taking us back to the hotel. And somehow we got into another argument. And as we're driving and slowing down, she jumps out of the car, runs across the street and up the sidewalk, sprints, bolts.
What did you do?
Well, I got the Uber driver to drive around the block multiple times to see if we could find her. Couldn't find her, so he drops me back off at the Renaissance, and I call 911 to report a missing person.
Okay, so let's back up.
Okay.
She jumps out of the Uber car. Why didn't you chase after her?
Wasn't for sure if I needed to pay or what I needed to do about that. So I wanted to make sure that
Hey, who?
the Uber driver
Okay.
wasn't for sure how that worked. So if I just left, I didn't want to not pay him. So I got him to be with me to go around the block multiple times
Okay.
in the Uber car.
Do you recall where you went around the block?
Just where we were at, like up and down that street, going back and forth, going around in circles looking for her.
And did you ever get out of the vehicle?
No, not until he dropped me off.
Besides circling the block, did you do anything else to look for her?
No, I asked him to look and me to look as well, looking for if she was walking anywhere, sitting anywhere, just anything she was doing. But I never actually got out of the car while I was driving.
And at the time, when you're circling around, what was going through your head?
I just hoping that she would come back like she has before, that she could find her way, that we could find her. I was worried about her, but didn't know what else to do except keep looking for her.
Was there a reason particularly you went back to the hotel?
Hoping she would come back, she would find her way back here, and I would be waiting for her.
And did you go to the room when you went to the hotel?
Eventually, I called 911 3 times. One to report, second time to see if anybody had been reported. Third time I called, they said they found a lady at the Varsity.
And were you waiting in the lobby? Were you up in the room?
I was outside the hotel room
Okay.
at the doorway area.
And what happened next? When
Well,
you got
eventually went back to the room because it was late. I'd been out there for a long time and hoping that she would get back or I get a call or something. But somebody was knocking at the hotel door of the room, and 2 cops were there, and they took me back to Grady Hospital.
And what did you learn at that time?
That she had been raped and assaulted.
And how did you learn that? Was it from the 911, from the officers that arrived, or when you arrived at the hospital, or something else?
From the officer at the hospital.
And before I go into the hospital, from the time you guys arrived in Atlanta to that moment when she got out of the Uber, was there any time that you guys were not together in Atlanta?
No,
Didn't see her?
no.
So let's talk about the hospital. What hospital did you go to?
Grady.
Okay. And what happened when you got to Grady?
They escorted me to her room, and as soon as I saw her, I broke down crying, and it was just hugging on her. Couldn't stop crying. And then from there, I just stayed with her for a while. And what happened next, I'm not sure. I just basically remember me being with her in the room and her crying and me crying.
How did she look?
Noticed bruising on her neck. She had tears. She was a mess. I mean, she just looked a mess.
Do you recall while you were at the hospital speaking to law enforcement?
Yes. I just remember talking to one officer when I first got there.
I'm sorry. Can you answer that one more time? Do you recall speaking to law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. And who did you speak with?
I can't remember the name.
Okay. And what did you tell law enforcement?
I just told them basically what happened that night before we got there.
Okay. What was your state of mind or your demeanor what was your state of mind when you were speaking to officers?
I was upset about the whole thing, what happened to Jamie, the whole night. I was just upset.
Upset, emotional upset, angry upset? What?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, there's a lot of emotions running thugh my head, it was night I never thought would happen or be a part of. So a lot of stuff was emotional. I'm sure there was some anger there as well.
Do you recall being by Jamie's side while she was at the hospital?
Yes.
And what, if anything, do you remember about a sexual assault?
I remember there was one given.
Okay.
Do you remember that? As far as when it happened, I can't remember, but pretty sure it happened while I was there because the doctor talked to me about it, that this was going to get done, but didn't know what took place. She had to go to a different room or something to get it done.
And can you describe Jamie's demeanor at the time when you got to the hospital?
She was telling me, talking to me, about it, just apologizing, all this happened. And she was just upset and, really upset. I was upset.
Still, was she intoxicated?
No, she didn't seem intoxicated. She was just really tired, emotionally drained, physically drained.
Are you aware of any medication she was administered?
I believe they gave her something to sedate her for the rape kit.
For the record, I am now approaching the witness with State's Exhibit 15 through
15's already been admitted.
16 through 22. What have I just handed you?
A picture of Jamie in the hospital. And you mean tell you all the pictures?
Yes, just generally. not-
Okay, showing her wrist with scratches on her wrists.
Are those photos from Jamie at Grady Hospital?
Yeah, some bruising on the neck.
You don't have to go into details. I just wanted to make sure. Those are photos of Jamie at Grady Hospital.
Yeah, that's Jamie at Grady Hospital.
And how do you recognize those photos? Were you there?
I was there in the same room she was in.
Okay. And are those photos an accurate depiction of Jamie Cherry at the time she was in the hospital?
Part of the time, yeah, she was kind of out of it. And when she saw me,
So what I'm doing right now is just trying to authenticate so that I can get those pictures into evidence. So I'm just asking you general questions.
Okay.
We're gonna get into the specifics.
Okay.
So are those pictures,
These are pictures of Jamie at Grady Hospital.
and are they a fair and accurate depiction of what she looked like at the time?
Yes.
Have I made any alterations or deletions to the photos?
No.
At this time, the state moves to enter an exhibit, State's Exhibit 16 and 21. No objection.
Admitted.
And permission to publish to
You
the
may.
jury. Now, Mr. Rosso, let's talk about these pictures. Same set of photos.
Okay.
The photo with Jamie in the hospital bed. Did you observe her in this condition?
I think that was probably taken before I got there. That's probably when she first got there. I'm not sure. But it looked like she had like a longer gown and stuff.
And are you familiar with the injuries to her neck?
Yes.
And did you observe those injuries that night?
Yes. When I got there. Yeah.
Okay. And did you observe the injuries to her wrists?
Yes,
Did you observe those injuries that night?
yes, ma'am.
Now, while you were out that night, it was your testimony that you guys had some drinks
Yes,
at each stop that you went to,
right.
and a few drinks at Opera nightclub.
Yes,
So is it safe to say you were intoxicated?
yes, we had alcohol in our blood system.
Okay. And by time you had gotten to the hospital, were you still intoxicated?
If so, it was very lightly, but by that time it had worn off
Okay.
out of the system a little bit.
Okay, but you were still intoxicated?
Yeah,
And during this time, you gave a statement to the officers at the
Yes.
hospital?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And after you gave that statement to officers, did you provide any details to assist them in their investigation of what happened to her?
I just gave them the details of what happened that night before she got to the hospital
Okay,
while she was with me.
okay. Did you provide them with any other details outside of what you said today?
No, I just told them basically what I told you.
Okay. You provided the name of the Uber driver?
No, I didn't remember the name of the Uber driver.
So after giving the statement to officers, and the sexual assault kit being complete, what happened next with you and Jamie?
We stayed there till they gave us the okay to go home. And from there, they took us back to the hotel. From there, I called her mother while she slept a little bit. And then we got things together and eventually we went back to her place, dropped her off back at her place.
And what did you tell her mother?
I told her what had happened, that she had been raped and that she needed her. So I went to the airport, picked her mother up and brought her back to Jamie's place.
Okay. In Atlanta,
Picked her up at the airport in Atlanta and drove to Canton.
drove her mother and yourself back to Canton?
Yeah, the two separate trips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, drove Jamie back home first.
Mhm.
And then later I went and picked up her mother from the airport and brought her to Jamie's place.
Okay. And how soon after the sexual assault did this happen, bringing her mother to her?
I can't remember if it was that night or the next day, but it was probably the next day since she just heard about it. She got on the flight as soon as she could. But I can't remember the exact, if it was that night or the next day, but it was one of the two.
Now, you said it earlier in your testimony, but I just want to be clear. How long had you really known Jamie prior to this incident?
Just a few months.
Okay. So let's talk about her behavior or her demeanor after the incident. What, if anything, did you notice was a change in her behavior?
Yeah, she was depressed, had anxiety, couldn't go out in public by herself. If she went someplace, I had to go with her or other people, but mainly me. She didn't feel safe going out there by herself. She cut herself multiple times and attempted suicide twice. She just wasn't the same from what I knew her.
How was her voice?
She had a hard time. It was hoarse-like for a long time. She had to go to physical therapy for her neck and her voice. She had a therapist and a psychiatrist where they had to give her medicine for her depression and anxiety.
Okay. What, if anything else, that she had to assist her on a daily basis?
Well, she had anxiety at one point where she had to go to the ER just because of an anxiety attack. Eventually, therapists recommended a service dog, and the people she worked with basically helped her with her job the whole year. I mean, basically, she couldn't have done it without them. They basically did her job for her, helped her out that much. But she went anyways because she knew that's what she needed to do. But without the help of her other teachers, she wouldn't have got through it.
Dog, the service dog, what is it commanded to do?
To be with everywhere to go, help her emotionally, and also to protect her.
How does the dog help her emotionally?
She can sense when she has anxiety, and she stays close to her, gives her loving, makes her feel secure and protected.
Okay. What, if anything, does the dog do when Jamie feels alone or is alone?
She just doesn't leave her. She stays with her everywhere she goes. She'll get in between her and other people. If there's other people around, she makes sure she's in between her and somebody else.
Describe to the jury Jamie's behavior being around other people, anybody.
Normally, she's loving, fun going, but she stays usually recluse. She tries not to go out. She stays to herself and me. Yeah, she stays to herself quite a bit.
Is the dog trained, the service dog trained to do anything as far as finding you?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
Yeah. If she needs help, she's alone, she'll tell the dog to go find me. The dog will go find me, and then we'll go back to her. Yeah.
And how long has Jamie had the dog?
Believe it's been 2 years now.
Okay. And based on your knowledge and her interaction with the dog, would Jamie be able to go be out or do anything on a daily basis without the dog?
No. Either I need to be there or her or both. She likes to have us both with her at all times.
Okay. And how has that had a strain, if at all, on her relationships and her family and with you? How has that affected that?
That's affected him a lot. I mean, because of her behavior, depression, anxiety, it's affected her relationship with her children, especially her daughter, to where her daughter was kind of afraid to be around because of the breakouts and breakdowns she would have, and it scared her a little bit, and she didn't know how to take it. So she chose not to be around for a while.
And do you have any knowledge of how that relationship is now?
Yeah, it was great. And I think the dogs helped a lot with that. So she comes and spends time with her. They talk on a regular basis.
Do you recall, well, before I move on to that, I know you talked about the year following the attack. She was pretty, you said her coworkers had to help her, assist her. Since that time, over the past few years, have you sensed a progress in Jamie?
She still struggles with her job because of still having depression and anxiety. It's better than what it was initially, but she still struggles with it. And she needs my help when she gets home with her schoolwork, and still help with her coworkers as well.
How has the therapy and the treatment that she's been through assisted her in her memory as it relates to that night?
It's helped her remember a lot more than she originally remembered. She's been a big help. I mean, she's done a lot for Jamie, but as she's talked through stuff, she remembers more.
And just speaking with Jamie and talking about the incident that occurred, and even you were there for the night prior, prior to her ending up at the MARTA station. How is your memory compared to her memory as it relates to that night?
Well, I remember things that happened before then, but the things that matter the most, she didn't start remembering them till later on, the actual incident. But I remember most of the stuff of what we did. I just don't remember names of specific places we went to. I remember the name of a few spots, but not all of them. So I'd say my memory's better in general than hers is, but the therapist has helped her with that memory as they've gone on.
Okay. So it's been a progress.
Yes, it's been a progress. Yes.
And a process. So let's talk about the follow-up investigation after you got Jamie home. She's been going through her therapy. But I know you were initially contacted by law enforcement not shortly after. Do you recall around how incident you were contacted by law enforcement again?
No, I don't remember how long. I do know eventually we had to go in and I had to give DNA tests.
All right. And then after that, do you recall returning to the scene of the incident?
Yes, we returned to the scene at one point just to kind of see where everything took place.
Okay. And what, you were there for that?
Yes.
And what, if anything, was you and Jamie and yourself able to convey to officers at that time from being at the scene?
Where the assault and rape took place at,
Okay.
the exact location.
Do you recall participating in different ways of identifying possible suspects?
There were cameras in certain areas that showed, people coming in and out of MARTA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but did Jamie participate, do you recall Jamie participate in the identification process, such as a sketch artist?
Yes, she went and gave a sketch and eventually she had to go try to look at people in the lineup.
Okay, and were you there for that?
Yes,
Okay, and where did that take place?
at a Dunkin' Donuts in Canton.
Okay. And do you recall the law enforcement officer you spoke with that day?
I don't remember her name.
So it was a female officer?
Yes, it was a female officer.
Okay, and do you recall Jamie making an identification that day?
Yes.
What, if anything, do you know about her confidence in making that identification?
Not real good. She just, I remember her noticing eyes, but as far as that goes, she knew a few things she remembered about facial hair and some of the, gray hair and so forth. But, she wasn't too confident, but she was trying her best to, point out who she thought might have been the person.
Over the years, has there been one specific detail that Jamie definitely remembers as it relates to her attacker?
She talked about the eyes.
Yep.
Mostly. She remembered those eyes.
What about the name?
The name that he gave was Vincent. And there was, when they did the investigation, one of the people at the homeless shelters over there, his name was Vincent, and they had recognized the shoes and some of the outfit that they wore.
Okay.
And he
But-
based in that place was next to the MARTA station, and that's what everybody called him.
Okay, but that's the question I'm asking you is, has Jamie ever wavered on that name?
No,
Okay,
They always said it was Vincent, and that's what he told her it was.
yes,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. It's okay. Maybe I'm not making myself clear. So I don't know who they is. I'm simply talking to you about Jamie and her memory.
Yeah.
Just Jamie.
Yeah.
Has Jamie ever wavered on the name she was given for her attacker?
No.
Thank you.
Miss Hemingway.
Awesome.
Hello.
Now, you all had been come to Atlanta, and you all were celebrating Mrs. Folsom's divorce, is that correct?
Partially, and a last celebration before the school year started.
Okay. And y'all were in a committed relationship, is that correct?
Yeah. We were dating. We weren't per se, I don't know what you would say, but yeah, we were basically just seeing each other. We were
Okay.
just seeing each other.
You weren't seeing any outside people?
Right.
Okay. Now, when y'all were in Atlanta, it was just the two of you, is that correct? It was just the two of you.
Yes.
And y'all were together the entire time you were in Atlanta.
Yes.
So there wasn't any time other than the allegations that she wasn't around you.
Correct.
Now, you were married at that time.
Yes. Going through a divorce. We were separated.
Now, on the day of July 26th, 2015, you all went to,
Yes.
and now while y'all were at Club Opera, y'all got into an argument. And at that point, she was upset because you told her to step away from another person she was close to.
Objection. That's not in evidence. Those facts are not in evidence.
I think he said that on direct, that she was touching.
No, that did not come out on direct.
And the court has ruled.
And I think we've ruled on that issue, Miss Hemingway.
Now, you all got into an argument at Club Opera, is that correct?
Yes,
And she ran out and she was running down the sidewalk.
yes,
She didn't stumble. She didn't fall.
no,
She didn't trip,
no.
but you got to her.
Yeah, I stayed fairly in close proximity with her. I ran as well.
And then she tried to get into a car,
Yeah,
and it was a car of 6 Black men.
I can't recall how many there were.
You told police that it was about 6.
Could be possibly that many. I don't recall the exact amount, but if that's what I told him, that's what I told him at that point. Yeah.
And she also was trying to buy pot from him.
No, I don't know if they were or not.
You told police that she was trying to buy pot from him.
Well, maybe I assumed that. I wasn't listening to the conversation. I just know that sometimes at clubs and stuff, they do that, but I wasn't close enough to see if that's what they were doing.
But you were in close proximity to her.
Not in, I couldn't hear anything they were saying. I was close to them, but I didn't hear what they were saying.
Now, she got into the vehicle with the Black man. Is that
Asked and answered 3 times, Your Honor.
you had to get her out of that vehicle?
All right. So we'll sustain that. We're moving on to the next question, which has already been asked. So you can answer that question.
Oh, I didn't get her out. I asked her to come into the Uber and she did.
So she got out of the car and the Uber was already there.
It was on its way. Yeah.
Okay.
So she came to me and waited with me until the Uber got there.
Okay, so
which
you
was
had to
a
wait
few-
on the Uber. All right. And so then y'all the Uber eventually came.
Yes,
All right. And y'all got into the Uber.
correct.
All right. And the argument continued.
Yes, at some point it started back up.
Okay. And then she eventually hopped out of the Uber
Yes,
and she ran away.
yes.
And you didn't see her again that night.
No, not until at Grady.
You did try to look for her.
Yes,
You couldn't find her.
correct.
So you went back to the hotel
Yes,
and then you got a knock on your door
eventually, yes.
and you were told that she was at the hospital.
Yes, and they took me back to the hospital.
So you never saw her. She got out of the Uber and seeing her at the hospital.
Correct.
So you never witnessed what happened with her while she was not around you.
Correct.
Now, once y'all went to the hospital and everything was over, you said that you took her back home.
Yes,
Now, if Mrs. Folsom said that you took her back to your place, would that be incorrect?
yes,
Now, you mentioned a service dog.
yes.
Where is that service dog?
It's at home now. At this point, it's at home.
No other questions?
Any redirect? All right, Mr. Folsom, you can step down at this time. However, we're not releasing you from your subpoena just yet. You may still be recalled as a witness in this case.
Okay,
So I'd ask that you not discuss your testimony or the testimony of any other witnesses while you're outside of this courtroom, okay?
okay.
Thank you, sir. All right. Yes, Ms. Green. Sure. All right, Mr. Jerry, you just disclosed you need to take care of, so we'll ask you to step out and as soon as we have another witness available for you, we'll have you back.
All right, for the jury. Jury box clear.
Just generally. Was it most of it decipherable? Okay. All right, so obviously we had a bench conference here, which I believe the record captured most of that, but the state is asking for some leeway due to witness availability. And I believe you're saying there's an officer on his way here at 4:15, and you're gonna have someone else here to authenticate a jail call as well.
What is happening?
Sure. What is that? Well, so you have to ask your chain of command, because I was told actually that they aren't willing to assign folks because they also won't let me have a permanent court reporter. So, I'm just the new guy.
And I don't understand that.
I'm just the new guy.
We said,
Yeah.
you need one,
Yeah,
you need one. And I don't do that.
because we're doing stuff all the time.
I know.
So maybe once we clear out the backlog, I can, take up my golf game like everyone else. But until then, we got too much to do. But let me know. All right, let's take up a few things. We've got Mr. Young back present in court. For one, it was noted since Mr. Folsom has not been excused yet and is still subject to recall, I think he would still be subject to the rule of sequestration and not permitted to hear the testimony of other witnesses. In the morning, though, my intention would be to ask the defense their position on the depositions and whether there's anything in there subjecting either witness to recall. And at that point, he could rejoin the folks in the gallery. Anything on that? Okay. All right. And then the other thing, so the state is saying that they're intending to call somewhere around 18 witnesses tomorrow. That
No,
the plan?
no. Tomorrow we have 1, 2. I believe there'll be 11 or 12 witnesses tomorrow. They're all officers. It's kind of a back-to-back thing of what their role was in that investigation. Some of them is such as Marta is just bringing in the surveillance. That's it. And then they're done. Felder, he's the crime scene technician. He's just bringing in his photos and then he's done. So I believe it's going to be like a quick pace, except for my lead detective, which was Sergeant Klein and Kevin Leon Packer.
And you're also going to have your GBI witnesses lined up as well?
Yes, I will. I anticipated the doctor and the officers tomorrow because I have to, based on their scheduling. And then I was going to do GBI and the expert the following day, but I can have GBI.
Well, I think it would be wise to just essentially have them on call and be sending them text updates through the day and maybe have them, I mean, the GBI is what, like a 30-minute drive away. So if we're getting closer to 3 or 4 o'clock and your witnesses are going through more quickly, what I want to absolutely do is avoid what's happening right now tomorrow. And also to that end, if you do you have a witness coming now from the DA's office?
Yes.
All right. And then, but you said something about how you wouldn't be publishing the exhibit you tender through him.
Play the joke call now.
I would think that'd be the best use of our time. I know that may not be your preference, but seeing as we're here to fill some time, I think that we need to do that.
I have a preliminary, I have a motion in limine then, if we're publishing the call. It's my position that only a minute of the call needs to be played, which is why I sent the defense the transcript, and I have the transcript for the court as well.
All right. What's the time marker that you're planning to play? Is the defense aware of the time marker?
The time marker is 59, it's less than a minute. It's 59 seconds to 1 minute and 33 seconds.
All right. And so Ms. Hemingway, if the state tenders the call and then publishes that portion of it, do you have any concerns or objections to what the state's proposing at this point?
33 seconds.
Maybe if they have a copy of the transcript, it would probably help give them the line numbers of when to win.
So it will be line. Page 3. Line 13. To line 15. That's it. It's 2 sentences. But you want to copy before the. Yes. Line 14. So line 13 and line 14.
All right. So with that, Ms. Hemingway, is there any part of the, I think the only avenue here that, or objection you could make would be under the rule of completeness. Is there another portion of the call that you feel is necessary to place this line in context?
I think the portion that may need to also come in is where he does ask for his lawyer. I think that kind of gives some context to why he may be saying this, as well as
What line, page?
This is line 21 through 22.
All right, can I go ahead and get a copy of the transcript as well?
Page 15, 7 through 10.
No, this works. I'll probably end up making this a part of the record as well. Okay, so what are you contending should also come in, Ms. Hemingway?
Reference to his lawyer. Yeah, basically the parts where he's saying he's not able to get in contact with his lawyers. Also, I believe there's a portion in here, I'm trying to find it, where he says that. Okay, yeah, on line 4, page 17. He says, I think it's been 4 years, I'm tired of this. As well as lines 13 through 14 on that same page. As well as lines 8 and 9.
All right, so the rule of completeness under 106 essentially says an opposing party can introduce any other writing or recorded statement, which in fairness should be considered contemporaneously. And so what would be your argument, Ms. Hemingway, that this should be considered contemporaneously with the state's line?
My argument is that it provides context to that one statement which the state is trying to play. I would say that it goes towards whether or not he was really meaning what he was saying when he made that statement.
I'm not seeing the part about a lawyer in here. Where did you say that is?
The lawyer is on page 12. Lines 1 and 2. Page 11. Lines 21 through 22. Page 16, lines 7 through 10.
Let's just take this one by one. So at the first reference I see to a lawyer is on page 11 on line 21, where it says I haven't been able to write my lawyer because I still haven't gotten an address for her. Later on page 12, line 6, I said the only addresses I had were for the judge and for the prosecutor, so I wrote both of them. Later goes on to say I told them everything and told them that I want to change my plea and everything, so hopefully we can get this all done. Okay, so and where was the next reference to a lawyer?
Page 16, line 7 through 10.
All right, and what's the state's argument for why not just play this entire call?
Because, Your Honor, if you read or just skim the transcript, it gives no context to the rest of the conversation with his mom is one of a religious nature. She's talking about John in the Bible and how he's going to be saved and the Lord is going to do good things for him now. Half of it is his mother's affirmation for his confession. And he is appeasing her by talking about how he is preaching in the jail and all this. So it doesn't give context to the confession. And that's the whole point of the rule of completion, is that the rest of the statement was to give context. He says it right at the beginning. We're at minute 59 or 59 seconds to 133. The rest of the call is a frankly preaching. And so I don't want to inflame the jury. I don't want the jury to consider anything outside of the facts of this case. His religious affiliation is not relevant, and it doesn't give context to the confession. Furthermore, the reason why he's mentioning his attorney is not the reason why he's confessing. He didn't have an address to send the confession to his attorney to. So in there, he's saying, I sent a letter to the judge. I sent a letter to the prosecutor. I don't have my attorney's address yet, but he was going to send the confession to his attorney too. That's his reason for saying, I don't know my attorney's address. If you look at it, it's in the context of, I sent a letter to the prosecutor, I sent a letter to the judge.
No, I mean, I think that's accurate there. I don't really see too much how just the simple reference to a lawyer comes in, but I am more open to this idea that just taking a line and a half snippet that it's being a pretty weighty snippet, that some of the surrounding context showing his mental frame of mind at the time of making that statement would be relevant. I don't really see just how references to religion might inflame the jury. I mean, if we're saying it's not relevant in some way, again, I think this is kind of intrinsic to the discussion. It seems to be part of what is motivating factors in making this claim and writing this letter. So I don't think I think it does probably have to be more than just a line and a half, but.
And I understand. So if there is a proposition that the defense or the court would like to make, I just don't think the whole 12-minute jail call with the mother mentioning church and how proud she is of him preaching to the guys in the jail can we suggest propose an added part that's not 12 minutes long?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think, I know I do see that it is a lot of conversations from the mother, but, he's basically just affirming those throughout the time. It seems to be something that's very much part of the conversation. I don't really see that it's bringing in too much that's prejudicial to, the state's case. If you want to throw out another time marker that you think would encapsulate some more of this context, I'd be willing to hear it.
Okay. Are you talking to me or the defense?
I mean, I'd fine to hear from both.
So if that's the case, I would suggest.
I mean, I think you should go from the top. I mean, I don't see any reason why just the "Hello, Mom, how are you?" shouldn't be part of it. I mean, I think that's about 30 seconds that just kind of sets up the context of it.
Can we, this state positions page 3 all the way to line 19, from the top to line 19.
Well, no, then at the very bottom of that, he says, the Holy Spirit told me last night that I have to confess. That's what he goes on to the very next page. So again, I still think that's getting into the
Can we stop
context
at,
of it.
It's in God's hands. Oh, I just judge. Can we stop at hopeful? because that says how long he's been in jail.
Well, that's something I think that the defense should be keeping in mind as well. So right now, the proposition is doing it from the top all the way through the top of page 4. Well, I would say in God's hands now. I mean,
Okay.
4 years has been enough. He doesn't actually say he's in jail at that time. So that's the current proposition on the floor, is from the top to line 6 of page 4. What's the defense position on that?
I just think he still makes additional statements just on page 16 where he's saying, again, he just wants to get it over with for the calendar. It's line 23 through 25.
All right, and so the implication though would be that he's been in pretrial confinement during that time. If you're fine with going into that, I would think perhaps rather than worrying about having to do these last minute edits, that could be something you could just take up on cross and say, isn't it true that later in the call he says lines 23 through 25, and you gotta get it into the record that way. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. Cross, so
When she's crossing the person who's authenticating and entering it into evidence, and then it's published, she's gonna have the ability to cross that person. At which point, unless you'd rather, she's saying this snippet of, it's a mess, I'm still trying to hoping to get in touch with somebody, get in the court and talk to somebody, get it over with, get up out of here. Again, it does seem like that's part of the motivating factor he's making this statement for us. It's kind of a resignation of how long the case has been going on. Now, whether that resignation is enough to impact the truthfulness, that's for y'all to argue at closing and to take to the jury, right? But it does seem to be part of his statement of what's motivating it. And so it does seem, I think, fair game under the rule of completeness. So where we're at here is the state is planning to play to the top of page 4. And the only other statement you've identified, Ms. Hemingway, that you think should also come in would be page 16, lines 23 through 25, essentially, or is there more? Page 16, lines 23 through 25. Essentially saying that he's trying to get it over with. Continuing through 17, line 4, I'm tired of this.
okay. Then line 4, also from page 17.
All right, anything else? Do we have our witness here?
Yep, it's on his way down.
Okay.
Not a jump trial.
And who is it?
Grant Root.
All right.
So let me understand, Judge, because I don't want to, I want to make it simple. If it's going to get complicated with me starting and stopping, then I might as well. I just want to make it simple. So are we saying that there are several portions that will be admitted in? It's not like a long stream and I stop at a certain time, but I got start, stop?
No, I think we're trying to avoid that. I think what would happen is the state could publish it through page 4, line 6. The state could stop its recording at that point, finish its direct examination, and then on cross, Ms. Hemingway has this additional bit of context that she would like to get in. Theoretically, if you have it teed up already, Ms. Hemingway, to that exact point and are able to play that exact point, I think you could do so. Alternatively, you could also just ask Mr. Rood, isn't it true he also said this? And that's another way to get it in as well. So I leave that to you. It's your case to try. I'm also just trying to recognize that technology hasn't always been our friend so far, and where we're at. But it seems to me that is the relevant part that you've highlighted that you think should also come in fairness. And I agree that some of this context of his intent is fair game. Mr. Rood.
I had to do some grand jury stuff.
Feel free to come on up, have a seat for us.
Do you mind if we step out 1 second so he can
Sure.
do this thing? And again, I apologize, Judge.
Ms. Hemingway, we're on the same page though?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else you think should come up here? All right, all good, Ms. Green?
Not yet, Judge. My battery was dying. Brent's just gonna do it right here real quick.
All right. Okay, and while you're doing that, Mr. Folsom, while you stepped out, we did have to address something because you still can be recalled as a witness. We can't have you see any other witnesses' testimony. We think we'll have an update for your status when we get started tomorrow morning. All right, thank you, sir. All right, another FYI to everybody, I have to do a hard stop at 4:40. And then tomorrow we have some other hearings scheduled, so we wouldn't pick up until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's case management, you don't have to be there. Don't worry about it. Yeah. 10 o'clock, you're good, sleep in. Let's do it on Zoom, yeah, in my office. Do you happen to have a stapler? We'll make this part of the record. Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow? We're just doing it virtually, right? Is it like just one? I mean, we'll have an hour. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'll take that back. We do need you. Of course we need you. Yeah, apparently there's a plea.
Oh, okay, what time?
Say like 9 a.m. Yeah, just jump on the Zoom call.
Tell her to give me.
Yeah. Okay.
So do jump on the Zoom.
Yeah, sure. I bet. If you could hear us right there, we'll have it pulled up right there. Well, and we have to go through case management. So make it more like 9:30. Yeah, make it 9:30.
Yeah, because then I'll be set up,
We have a lot more cases to get through.
then I'll be set up in here. For 10.
Yeah.
I've got a-
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, all good. Let's bring in the jury. And for the record, I'm marking the transcript that was provided by the state as Courts Exhibit 3.
Courts Exhibit 3.
Yeah. And we'll make that part of the record.
What number is the state on? 22?
Your next one's 23. You went through 22 on the last. But I've got 16 through 22, this last thing.
These flash drives that were given with the transcript, we need to download it and give it back.
If you wouldn't mind, because we
Okay.
probably could reuse those.
All rise for the jury.
I had an extra flash.
Yeah, we'll chat. So don't lose it. Thank you, sir. All right, say may call the next witness.
This state calls Grant Rude.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give to the court today, is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your first and last name and spell it.
First name is Grant, Grant. Last name is Rood, Rood.
All right, Mr. Rude. How are you currently employed?
I'm employed in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office as a deputy district attorney.
What is your background in law enforcement?
I've been with the district attorney's office since late 2015. I've worked in multiple positions in the DA's office, always as an attorney here. I've served in multiple units, worked in the major case unit. Right now, I'm currently in multiple units as well, the civil forfeiture unit, and then also loaned out to the anti-corruption unit.
And what do you do at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office?
Currently, I handle various types of cases. I was late because just got finished working with the new grand jury. Previously, I've worked in the major case unit where at a time I worked on indictments, presenting cases to the grand jury. And as part of that, I would receive case file from the police agency, review the case file, and also as part of that is review jail calls and download jail calls for defendants who had been charged by the police.
Have you ever downloaded recording from the Fulton County Jail as a part of your job?
Absolutely. Thousands of times I've downloaded thousands and thousands of jail calls from the Fulton County Jail here in Fulton County.
Where is the Fulton County Jail located?
The men are held at 901 Rice Street in Atlanta, Fulton County.
And what kind of phone system do they have for inmates to use to make phone calls?
They currently have a system which is operated by a company out of Texas called Securus Technologies. And they're regular phones. They can also use tablets, but the main function of that system is that the calls are recorded and I can download later. And they each have a specific account. Each inmate there has a specific account. And so if they have money on their account, then they can use that to make calls. And so law enforcement, including myself, we can see who they've called, how long the call is, and then we can also listen to those specific calls.
That leads me to my next question, that are the calls recorded?
Yes, all the calls except calls made to privileged people, for instance, their attorney. So if they make a call to their attorney, we can't download or listen to those phone calls.
Does a person have to prompt the recording to begin?
So yeah, it depends on which system they're using, but they're given a prompt and that prompt says, hey, these calls are being monitored and recorded, could be used against them.
Does the person being called have to accept the call?
Yes, yes.
What is on the recording? You just said that. Is the phone system used by the inmates at the Fulton County Jail maintained by anyone?
Yes, that is the Securus Technologies company.
And what type of company is that?
It's just a technology company, IT company.
Do they keep the recordings in their ordinary course of business?
Yes.
Do law enforcement have a way to access, listen, and download the calls?
Yes, I have a unique user ID and password, so only I can download those calls. Other people also have usernames and passwords as well, but it's not like anyone can just download the calls. You have to be given access by Securus and by the Fulton County Jail to download those calls.
Have you been trained in the system?
Yes.
Tell the jury about the training that you had regarding the phone system at the Fulton County Jail.
So I've done internal training at the DA's office. I've also attended webinars and had multiple calls with the people at Securus who run the system. Sometimes they'll have updates as to how the system operates, and they'll have phone calls or webinars to explain the new features. So through that, I've learned how the system in depth operates.
Who can log into that system?
People with certain credentials, including myself.
And how do you download the calls?
Yeah, you find there's multiple ways of finding the calls. You can search by their name because it's a database. So you can search by their name, or you can search by their inmate number, which is a unique number assigned to them upon being booked in. And typically I just use the name, and then you just select which calls you want to download and download them like from any other website.
Now, once these calls have been recorded by the system, can they be altered in any kind of way?
No, we can't alter them.
Have you, prior to this case, downloaded calls in other cases?
Yes.
And were you able to verify through your experience that the system works?
Yes.
So how does the phone system work so that the inmate may make calls out, may make an outside call?
So they just, depending on if they're using the phone or a tablet, they, enter their account number. If they have money available on their account, they just call whoever they want to call, or they can make collect calls. They can also use other inmates' accounts. They say, hey, what's your number? Let me use that. But it's just, they just call the number, but it's all tracked. It's not like they pick up a phone, call a number, and it's never tracked as to what account it came from, who they're calling, or the phone call is not recorded. There's always that data kept.
Now, does the inmate know that the call is recorded?
Yes.
And how are they made aware of this?
Before they even have a conversation with the person they're calling, there's an audio prompt which says this call is monitored and recorded.
Now, let's talk about how you obtained the calls for this case. How did you search for the phone calls?
In this instance, I just searched for the defendant's name. There's no other people in the jail at that time with the name, so I didn't need to go through having to find his specific unique ID. If it was a more common name like John Smith, or some other name where there was multiple people in there, then I'd use their ID because I'd want to limit it to a single person instead of everyone with the name John Smith. But here, this defendant's name was he was the only person in that jail at the time with that name.
Okay, so the method you used in this case is name, not PIN or any other
Correct.
target number.
Correct.
And when did you do this?
I pulled this specific call about 2 weeks ago.
What I'm now showing you is State's Exhibit 23. What am I showing you?
It's a USB drive and has my initials on it, and just a USB drive containing one of the phone calls I pulled about 2 weeks ago.
How do you know that that USB drive contains the phone call that you pulled?
Because I examined it.
And did you mark it in any way?
Yes, with my initials.
And when examining it, was there any alterations that have been made as it's been placed on this drive?
No, the file on that drive is the exact file I downloaded, has not been edited in any way.
And what is the time frame for the call?
It was earlier this year, I believe January 15th at around 5:57 p.m.
And did you listen to this call?
Yes.
Haven't listened to the call. Did the defendant say his name or identify himself?
Yeah. And so the call, before they even get the prompt of it being recorded, it says who the call's being from. And so when they set up their account with Securus, they are given the opportunity to record their name so that when you receive the call from someone, because it'll just show up on your caller ID as a specific 404 number. It's not going to show up as, John Smith or whoever. So it gives, when you receive a call from an inmate at the jail, it says that person's recorded name in their voice. And so if he's making an on-pin call from his account, it's going to say his name. If he's using some other person's account, it would say that other person's name. But yeah, so you hear the name being spoken.
Now, the person he was speaking to, the defendant was speaking to, did they say the defendant's name or nickname?
And they don't say at the beginning. They're not, you can kind of sometimes hear in the background, but it's not a two-way conversation at the beginning. It's the prompt with the name, and then they hear the prompt about the call being recorded.
Having listened to this call, what was the subject of the call?
I mean, it's talking about the case.
And what specifically let you know that this call was made by the defendant and that he was, and who he was talking to?
So leave out. And so when they set up their account, they depends on whether they either read a sheet of paper with some stock phrases, like some sentences, or they're played a recording and then they repeat the phrases. That way they do it for voice identification. And we can listen to that voice identification file to see, so that, for example, if I download a call from defendant X, I want to listen to his voice identification to make sure it's the same person. Because if I find a call that is helpful to our case, I don't want to have it being made by someone else. So I compare the file I've actually downloaded to the voice identification to make sure that the person who's making that call is the person with that account. So I did that here to verify that this call was made by this defendant.
Thank you. One moment. You were talking about what was in the call that made this identify the defendant. What specifically let you know that they were talking about the case in this call?
About this case, I mean, the facts surrounding the case, as far as I know.
And at this time, the state moves to enter in State's Exhibit 23.
Can I approach?
Sure.
Yeah, that was a part. Your Honor, the state moves to enter in State's Exhibit 23.
Other than the objection previously raised at bench conference, is there any other objections?
No, thank you.
Sorry, audio is not sharing. Sorry, I'm having some issues connecting the audio to the court's audio. Is that going to- That's what I can do.
So have you tried connecting it to the?
Set the computer speaker by the microphone.
I've done that before.
Sorry. Workshopping.
It's much easier, Judge. Thank you. And that's the appropriate stopping point. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it true in that recorded statement that Mr. Young also states that they won't even answer my call? So it's like I said, it's a mess. But I'm still hoping I can get in touch with somebody and, get into court and talk to somebody, just to get it over with, get up out of there.
I mean, that's not the part that was just played.
But isn't it true that that was also part of the statement?
I believe so, yes.
And isn't it also true that he stated that, I mean, it's been 4 years, I'm tired of this. Is that correct?
If I recall correctly, yes.
Other questions? Thank you.
All right, any regret?
No, Your Honor.
This was the excuse.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rubin.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Green, I know you have another officer here, but how long would you say that officer?
This is the first responding officer, so about 30 minutes.
All right. All right. Well, members of the jury, I'm afraid at this point, we're going to take a stop. We are actually ahead of schedule, and that's been part of the some of the delays that we've been working through. But thank you as always for your patience. Tomorrow we have some other cases scheduled in the morning for some brief hearings. And so we're going to kick the trial back off at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you can be here, again, just as you were this morning and after lunch, we appreciate that. At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm hoping we can kick things off. We have a lot of witnesses to get through tomorrow, I've been informed, but we are on track. And if there's anything else that you have any concerns or questions about, feel free to let us know. All right, as a reminder, I've got to say these two things every single time. Don't do any research about this case. Don't look about it anything up about it anywhere or anyhow. Everything you learn about this case has to be inside this courtroom. And also don't talk about the case to anyone, even when you get home to your loved ones, or even amongst yourselves as you're walking to the cars. So with that, thank you so much.
All right. Everybody's clear.
Okay, before we break for the day, Ms. Hemingway at that last bench conference, I wanted to make sure you have an opportunity to essentially what it appears to be is that Mr. Rude had not been disclosed as one of the state's witnesses in order to authenticate the jail call. And so I think you had some things you wanted to address as it relates to that.
Yes, Your Honor. Witnesses are supposed to be presented to the defense within 10 days before trial. We weren't presented with that within the 10 days. The purpose of that is in order if we were to want to get in contact with witnesses or to ask them any additional questions prior to today, we would have had that opportunity.
All right, and Ms. Green?
Your Honor, it's my understanding, I don't want to misstate, I initially had Mr. Rude on a previous witness list. He pulled my calls, and then I put Natalie Bruner on the witness list. We have several custodians of jail calls that we have at the DA's office. So I used the call that was pulled by Mr. Rude. And I had no, I wasn't aware that there was any attempts to contact Ms. Bruner, but.
All right. Okay, thank you, Ms. Green. So obviously if Mr. Rude wasn't on a prior witness list, or if he was on a prior witness list, then there's no issue here. But even assuming he was not, seeing as we've already kind of addressed, I think the issue of the call being turned over, I think this kind of falls under that umbrella. And as the sole purpose of his testimony was to authenticate the call, again, he seemed to be a stand-in for Ms. Bruner. So if to the extent there was a discovery violation, I'm not seeing prejudice. And I think the only reason Mr. Root was called was because we were trying to make the best use of our time today and get in this piece of evidence that we knew was going to come in at some point through an alternative witness. So to that end, I don't see grounds evidencing a manifest necessity for a mistrial or a fundamental unfairness. So I would deny the the defense's motion on that front. All right. So just for tomorrow, as like I said, we would start at 10 a.m. Again, I'll ask you if we're ready to excuse Ms. Folsom from being recalled based on their depositions. And I'd also ask, I don't know the nature of all these other GBI or officers, but to the extent that their testimony may be cumulative, or there's a way that maybe there's even grounds to stipulate to some of these things, I'd ask that the parties could confer and see to that. If there's purely another witness that's coming in just to authenticate a piece of evidence, maybe that's something that the defense could consider stipulation, but obviously that's completely up to your discretion. So anything else we should take up before breaking for today? All right, thank you all. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.